The note is written in big block text. And the four of you are gathered around reading it. You saw it at your ballpark. And the four of you got there before your coach. And you picked it up because it was sitting right there on the mound. We have your cabin. If you ever want to see it again, you need to lose your next game against
the Cicero Sparks.
The Cicero Sparks.
Oh, the Sparks.
If you agree, leave one of your Blaseball hats at the foot of the Union Stockyard gates by tomorrow at noon, or you'll never see your cabin again.
Scoundrels.
We need that cabin. You think I'm going to start getting used to other people's dugouts now?
Yeah, I mean, we built it with our own bunch of hands.
And we rebuilt it, and we rebuilt it, and we rebuilt it, and we rebuilt it, and we rebuilt it with our own hands.
So
we could build an entirely new one, but we're not going to. I want ours back.
Oh, yeah. Well,
all right.
What do you guys think we should do?
Well, we can go to the office, and we can have this analyzed. Maybe it'll give us a clue. What? Why don't you like the office, Wynne?
So full of analysis. I won't get moving.
This is a mystery. We need to understand what is happening, and it takes step-by-step approach and analysis, and I couldn't think of anything placed better than the office.
Wait, this is a mystery?
Oh, now it is? Wait, how is it not a mystery?
GM?
Yeah?
Oops. Jeez. What'd I do this time, GM?
Okay. So you, as a mundane, as a regular old kid surrounded by superhero like other kids, it is luck and observation that carries you through. And you just so happen to notice on this letter, it has a very distinctive smell. It smells like oil. Like not cooking oil, but like grease.
Hey everybody. Well, I was just looking at this letter while Leslie was talking, and I tripped over that. Do you see the small rock right there? Not the one that's pointed up. It has kind of a flat top, and it's sitting on the ground, and it's gray. That rock.
Yeah.
Well. Anyways, I tripped over it, and I smashed my face into the letter on my way down. And this letter.
Do you want a Band-Aid? Like, Mr. Miller, do you want a Band-Aid?
Hey, yeah.
Okay, here, I take it a Band-Aid.
Thanks, Leslie. So anyways, I smashed my face into this letter on the way down, and I noticed it has a pretty peculiar smell.
You would definitely be able to place that smell again. Yeah.
It's a strong oil smell, and I bet if we drove around town and I passed the smell, it seems to me like a very distinct oil, and I might be able to recognize it again.
Well, Mr. Miller, I would not normally think that's a good idea, but last time we followed your nose, it led us to absolute treasure.
Yeah, Mikey's nose is better than any hound dog I've ever met.
That's right, Miss Meadows.
Last time, it led us to very good hot dogs.
Yes, it did.
Oh, they were so good.
Mm-hmm. I had more peppers that day than I ever had my entire life.
Upwards of 3. They were great.
All right.
All right, Mr. Miller, take us on a journey through Chicago.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Did you all bring skateboards or is it just me?
I thought we were sharing your skateboard, Mr. Miller.
All right. Yeah. Let's all try and squeeze on.
Okay.
All right, the four of you
I'll go
load
on
onto
top.
the skateboard.
I'm gonna tie a rope to the back of it and hold on to it.
All right, so let's do a 2d6 plus sharp to investigate a mystery.
Oh, should I do it?
Yeah, by all means.
The nose is leading the way.
All right. Nose out. 13.
Mikey.
I know what I'm good at.
It's a good nose. Mr. Miller has a great nose.
Ask 2 questions from the investigate a mystery list.
Oh boy. All right. Where did it go?
I just need to scroll down to the end of my notes here. So the Union Stockyard gates, where you're supposed to drop your hat if you agree to throw the game, you instinctually drive there, skate there, and you skate through the beautiful, sprawling grid of Chicago. Even in the middle of the day, even with the sun out, there are long shadows and stiff breezes, people walking back and forth with purpose, though not as much of a hurry as you might think, considering that everyone seems to be going somewhere with intention. You drive by the big American cars. You smell the big American smells. It's a city of all sorts of greases and oils and things. A
My
city of
favorite
industry.
stuff.
Yeah. But you're following your nose. And so you get to the Union Stockyard gates, which used to be the entrance into the great meatpacking district of Chicago. Now it's warehouses that have turned into high-rise luxury condos and fancy restaurants. But there's still this great gate that represented what this city was, a center of manufacturing. And there's a smudge of this grease on the gates. Someone was here that scouted this area too, either before or after dropping that note. But the cabin is not here, of course. Where it is, you think, is somewhere in this part of town. You think that whoever stole your cabin stole it with big, greasy hands and deposited it somewhere in the old stockyards.
Is there a payphone nearby?
Of course there is.
I just want to call in the office and report my location.
Mm-hmm. Who's your contact at the office, Leslie?
Oh, that's my handler, Trainer Clybourne.
Trainer Clybourne.
Mm-hmm.
And in a word?
She is wild. She's crazy. She's always trying to get me to think outside the box, where I just want to be methodical.
You call on the payphone. Go for Clybourne.
This is Agent Fitzgerald calling in, reporting.
Big Leslie, what's up?
But please call me Fitzgerald.
All right.
Just reporting, currently in the meatpacking district, on a bit of a caper. Just wanted to report in, and if you need me, please contact me in this quadrant.
Okay, will do. However, you
Uh-oh.
didn't need to check in, you know. I don't want regulations getting in the way of you figuring this thing out.
Well, just following, rules 5 through 6 that all agents should be accounted for at all times. And I wanted to check in. So I wanted to let you know I am currently safe, and I'm currently with Mix Wifflethorne, Miss Meadows, and Mr. Miller.
I'll add that to my log. Do you want me to drop a drone full of weaponry at your location? I'll do all the paperwork.
I think we're all set. We don't need any weaponry. It's currently an investigation. We don't want to cause any. We don't want to escalate. I appreciate it.
Call me at this number and use the code word if you want me to drop a crate full of weapons at your location.
Oh, don't make me use the code word.
You have to use the code word if you want the crate of weapons.
I will not want the weapons. All right, Trainer Clybourne, I have to go. Yes, Miss Meadows.
We do want the weapons. That sounds great.
Then all Leslie has to do is use the password.
Use the password.
I'm not going to use the password.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Password 1 successful.
Whoa.
Now the code word.
Don't make me say it. Flannel underpants.
And a drone is heard overhead. She already sent it.
Whoa.
It hovers about 20 feet. There's a big wooden crate, some explosive bolts on the line blowout, and this crate drops about 20 feet and explodes into a giant pile of whatever equipment you might need.
Whoa.
Les, you really know how to build the dramatic tension.
Yeah, now everyone's paying attention. We just
Hey everybody, we're on a caper.
Good luck. Hey, good luck, you kids. Oh,
Thanks.
This part of town, everyone's eating big sandwiches.
Leslie.
Yeah, as I pull out a grappling hook from the big box.
Leslie, does the office know who we are? Like all of us?
Yeah, they know that we are all Little Leaguers. The office knows a lot of things.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I hand Mikey a flare gun.
Whoa,
flare gun.
What
I'm gonna.
What do I do with this?
If you need to get someone's attention, just fire a flare.
If I need to get anyone's attention ever?
The flares. So it's a flare gun and like a bandolier of flares, and each flare has a different name on it.
Why?
Leslie, who's Barney?
Let me see that. Trainer Clybourne.
Also on the Barney flare in Trainer Clybourne's writing, quick scroll. Leslie, if you want to call Barney, please do.
I write no in perfectly like blueprint like NO in black Sharpie. No.
And you rotate the flare and realize that Trainer Clybourne knew you would write that because right below it says "Aw."
I'm gonna pass everybody walkie-talkies. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yep. Miles of range with an earbud.
Speaking of range, I'm gonna climb up these gates and see if I can gather any intelligence from up there.
Absolutely. So, Stormy, as a living plant, you presumably would like to use your towards sunlight ability.
That's correct.
You are able to scale this vertical surface, reaching always towards the sun. Describe what it looks like when you scale a building.
It looks like just a whole bunch of vines just growing up from where I start to wherever I end up on the top, and then they just kind of go whoop-boing, and then all of a sudden I'm there. So it's like I grow, and then just like a slinky right back up to the top.
So, Stormy, you do indeed plant yourself at the top of this monument and start scanning. But before we know what you want to look for, Mikey, why don't you ask your second question?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Real quick, Stormy,
Yeah, Mikey?
That was so cool.
Thank
That
you
was
for noticing.
awesome. I know
Mikey?
I've seen it before. I'm always
No.
impressed.
Mikey, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Right now, in this moment, you're my best friend.
Oh my God.
Because the way that you just told me how cool I looked and the way that you skateboarded us, balancing two of us and dragging Wynne along.
Oh, it was nothing, Stormy. It was like nothing. It's just skateboarding. That's normal kid stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a normal kid, though. So, for me,
Miss
it
Meadows,
makes me want to cry.
I have a hot dog for you.
Well, thank you. I guess this makes me your best friend.
What?
Stormy, that's just amazing coming from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's amazing to hear.
That's really
If you ever
amazing to hear. I really appreciate that. I'm just trying to look out for my team and my friends.
Yeah, you
Right.
know what?
What?
You're doing a great job by my view.
Yeah.
Maybe
Miss
one
Meadows.
day I'll learn how to climb and bring someone up with me, and you'll be the first one.
That would be so cool. All right, Stormy.
Okay,
I got
okay.
some investigating to do. Over
Okay.
and out.
Roger.
All right. Question number 2. Just had to get that cleared up. Question number 2 is, what here is not what it seems.
So you're pacing around and you're you're kind of pondering and you're looking. It's like, And Wynne, you're observing Mikey do all of this. Now, your life in Chicago is dramatically different than your life in West Virginia was. And you rolled with some pretty serious characters that were able to survive. And they have with them inherent in that living a pretty tremendous set of skills. And there was a not insignificant part of you that was worried that your own skills would diminish in the softness of city living. But despite this different world, despite all these different people, when you look at Leslie and Stormy and Mikey, you realize in their own way, they're also a pretty good crew. It's different, but they're all real good in their own way.
Yeah.
And you're kind of observing this and eating a hot dog when you see Mikey, observe like a stone bust, like a decorative stone bust that's a part of this gate monument. And Mikey just kind of reaches out a hand and kind of snaps the top of it off. And there's a tiny little camera in there. And Mikey, you look right into it and you see like the camera like zzz, 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 like adjust.
Whoever you are, you can buzz off with our cabin. We'll find it wherever you are. Make no mistake.
Zzz, zzz, zzz. So yeah, Mikey,
I
at
don't
this
think there's a
moment,
camera. I mean, a microphone. There is a camera, but I don't think they can hear me.
so you are being actively observed, and this camera is wireless, which means it doesn't have a super long broadcasting range. It's probably within a mile.
So, okay, we need to get to the nearest store.
Sure, you get to the nearest store.
But did I see anything?
Yeah, Stormy, what are you looking for?
I'm just looking to see if I can see the cabin or anyone looking suspicious.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to give you a +1 to this because you know it's nearby, and Mikey said that it's nearby. And so you're really kind of narrowing your focus to just the surrounding 10 blocks. So I'm going to have you roll 2d6 plus sharp plus 1. You're either going to see it or you won't.
That'd be a 5.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Your choice, Stormy. Dead end, or you see something bad?
Something bad.
So you look down and you see Mikey kind of playing with this, little camera. And Mikey looks up and it's like, it's wireless. And, you start looking around and you instantly just start looking for like a transponder or something. And yeah, you see sitting on top of maybe 8-10 blocks away, a little brick building tucked in amongst big warehouses. A tiny little makeshift antenna. Looks like it was just put up there. Little flashing red light. And it's deep in the old stockyards. Beyond the gentrification. The old warehouses. And here's why this is so bad. That part of town is under gang control. That gang is specifically a gang called the Broad Shoulders. You don't know much about them. But all you know, Stormy, is that you're not supposed to go there because of the Broad Shoulders. And the Broad Shoulders have a reputation like Gary, Indiana does. It's scary and you shouldn't cross it.
Logs, come in.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald
What's up,
speaking.
Stormy?
Les, Mikey, Wynne.
Yeah.
I see activity in the Broadheads territory. Make
The
a note.
Broadheads?
Broad.
That's a code name,
Shoulders.
Leslie. The broad shoulders. We call them the
Broad shoulders.
broadheads so no one interrupts our frequency.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, but I didn't stick to it, so now they know. But that's okay.
It's a work in progress. We're so proud of you, Mix Wifflethorne.
Thank you. I'll be right down so we can head to the store.
Yes. There is, I believe there's a Plequads nearby.
There is.
All right. One of the famous deep dish pizza joints in Chicago. I go up to the maitre d'. Hello, excuse me.
Yes. Can I help you? Welcome to Plequads.
Thank you so much. I would like a private booth, please. Room for 4, and I slip them a requisite $300 bribe.
Very good.
And also, ma'am, if you have a hammer back in the kitchen, if we could borrow that at the booth as well.
$400.
I will bring the kitchen hammer right to your booth.
Thanks.
Whoa.
You are seated at a comfortable booth under an old swinging chandelier, and on the table waiting for you is the kitchen's finest hammer.
Great.
Thank you so much.
I close the curtain to the booth. Okay, Logs. I take out my disguise kit. If we're going in, we need to be disguised.
That's right.
And we
Just
need
a
plan.
moment. Be right back. I grab the hammer and head under the table. I just got to smash up that camera, but I don't want to damage these fine Pequod tables.
Sure. With several violent blows from the kitchen hammer, you reduce the camera to its component parts.
Stop hitting me in the foot, Mikey. Stop it.
Got it.
Mr. Miller, did you get it? Miss Meadows, are you okay?
My foot's pounding like that hammer, but I'm okay.
Pretty smashed.
Okay.
Mr. Miller,
So-
please apologize to Miss Meadows.
I'm so sorry, Wynne.
You are in Plequads. The door is closed, or the curtain is closed, and you have, I tell you, Wynne, Stormy, and Mikey, it's amazing every time you see this thing. Tucked into a briefcase is the most comprehensive disguise kit you've ever seen.
My gosh.
So before we disguise
Amazing.
everyone up, the question is, of course, who are the Broad Shoulders? So who wants to figure out who the broad shoulders are? Wynne, what do you got?
I would like to call in a favor because I believe that some of my old friends from back in West Virginia know of the broad shoulders.
Oh.
They absolutely would. Call in that favor. 2d6 plus charm.
And you need descriptions of them, right? The chat, maybe?
The broad shoulders?
Yeah.
Oh, I have something for that.
Oh, never mind.
That's a 4.
Oh, no!
What a horrifying series of events.
Who do you talk to?
I talked to Ned the Dead.
Ned the Dead is the Ned the Dead is the living skeleton of a great stag.
Whoa.
Ned the Dead's pretty much the most powerful entity you know of.
Awesome.
My dad says not to ever call Ned the Dead, but gosh, they were just so friendly to me, you know?
Yeah.
You're so brave, Wynne.
So you video conference Ned the Dead. And yeah, against the backdrop of rolling Appalachia, you see, and all of you, anyone peering at Wynne's screen sees this too, a great skeletal stag head with flames burning in its empty hollow sockets.
Holy
God.
cannoli.
Hey, Ned.
Big city.
Yeah, that's right. I made it. Made it to safety.
Glad you still remember the little people.
Of course, Ned.
I go
Okay.
back under the table.
Same.
How many times you got me out of jams? I ain't never forget a long face as yours.
Gets longer by the day.
Ned, I called to ask you a favor, if you wouldn't mind.
By all means.
Ned, who are the broad shoulders? Like, how can we get in touch with them? How can we deal with them in a reasonable way?
I'm on my way.
Oh, great, Ned! I will see you as soon as you get here. Hey, Ned, don't tell Dad or Mom that I called you.
Not a word.
Thanks. All right. Hey, I got a friend coming. What? Y'all just look like y'all seen a ghost.
Yes, Miss Meadows, we did literally see a ghost.
Wynne, I don't want to be rude, but your friend is literally the scariest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
You could feel him coming through the phone. Like the temperature got colder in the entire booth.
Well, wait till you meet him in person.
All the candles in the chandelier went out. It's okay. I will restart them.
Every pizza in the kitchen suddenly cooked.
Oh, he has that effect on food.
Wait, how does this entity know where we are, Miss Meadows?
You don't have to tell Ned where you are. Ned just knows.
Wonderful.
Are we sure it's a good idea to have Ned the Dead meet me?
Yeah.
Mikey, these are your best friends, but also, who are these people? And what are they dealing with?
I spend pretty much 40% of my time amazed and 60% of my time terrified. But I love them.
That's a good
Yep.
ratio, Mr. Miller.
The trick,
Thanks,
of
Leslie.
course, is that you still don't know who the broad shoulders are, which means that you are ready to go and scout out this building. You just don't know who's in it. So You can still have some kind of disguise.
We're a jazz quartet.
You're
Everyone
a
likes
jazz
jazz.
quartet.
Everyone
You're
likes
brilliant.
Jazz.
You're
Everyone
Everyone
brilliant.
likes jazz. Everyone likes jazz.
That's
So-
great, Leslie.
Thank you.
Leslie, master of disguise, 2d6 plus cool, and I'm going to give you +1 because I like jazz quartets.
Great. Everyone likes jazz. See? Thank goodness. That is an 8.
Okay. So you disguise yourself as a jazz quartet. I want each of you to give me a sentence about the montage of costuming.
There's a line that Leslie is just like working on people. So people are doing stuff while like Leslie just focuses in on doing everyone's makeup. And people tried to get Leslie's attention, and Leslie's completely focused and cannot be shaken from his task.
I don't like disguises, so I keep trying to do the most minimal amount of work, and Leslie keeps saying, "Mm-mm." Here's
Miss
the
Meadows,
hat.
Miss Meadows, stop moving.
Okay. What about
Miss Meadows?
what
Stop
about
moving.
The sash won't sash.
Miss Meadows, stop moving.
What about this?
Miss Meadows,
Yeah. Okay.
what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I am.
Also, what about this collar?
It matches it matches your jacket. Please put it on and then stop moving.
I spend a lot of my time trying to impress Leslie Fitzgerald, and I saw how much he was telling Wynne to stop moving, so I make myself as still as possible, as much as I've ever been in my life, long after he's finished with my disguise.
Mr. Miller, please breathe. Mr. Miller, please breathe. Mr. Miller, breathe, please.
Les gives me another $100 bill to go give the host to just play Rhapsody in Blue for the entire time on repeat.
It's a good song.
And with this music playing, into the Plequads booth walked 4 Little Leaguers, and out walked, with instruments and all, an incredibly convincing jazz quartet. So the 4 of you, looking as cool as the day is long, meander out of Plequads and into the old meatpacking district. The luxury lofts and brick towers starting to fade into long city block-sized warehouses, heading towards that building that had that little antenna on it. And you see it sitting on a corner, the only one-story building for blocks in any direction. A tavern called the Hop o' My Thumb.
My thumb.
It's like top of my thumb, but hop of my thumb.
The very
Top
same.
of my thumb.
So
Hop o' My Thumb.
a H instead of a T.
An H instead of a T.
Hop on my thumb.
Hop o' My Thumb.
Hop o' my thumb.
My thumb.
And the 4 of you are standing there, instruments in hand. The thing that you notice is that as squat as this building is, 1 story instead of 3 or 4 stories like everything else, the door into it is immense. 12 feet tall instead of 7.
Wow, that's a big door. I wonder if that means that the people inside are big.
They are.
Oh, that explains the broad shoulders. Mr. Miller, I guess we're going in.
What? Oh, was I not supposed to knock?
Our cover story is where the Star Spangled Spanners, we love wrenches. Let's go.
The
sir.
Wrenches?
door, there's a little slit in the door, a metal kind of observation port, and it slides open. And the eyes are about 7 feet off the ground, big and yellow. And they peer down at all of you.
Ha!
The entertainment.
I like wrenches.
And the door opens up. The hop of my
Leslie, that
thumb.
worked. That worked so well.
We did it.
The hop of my thumb is an ogre bar.
Oh.
Everything in here is big, including the people and their big coats, sitting on big stools and at big tables. The smoke in the air is big, coming from big cigars. The smell of meats and stews is big and thick in the air.
I'm gonna clap. I'm gonna clap really loud and say, "RC Malorts for everybody."
One of the large figures, every single person in here is wearing a big, heavy coat that extends all the way up from their wingtips to the middle of their cheeks. And there's only about an inch or two of face because the rest of their head's covered by a fedora. One of these people, these immense people, turns around and looks at you and nods. And around for the bar. The bartender, who is wearing over her greatcoat a big apron and this great big kind of upturned collar, so you can only see bits of her face. Really, all you can see are big yellow eyes. She kind of looks and starts lining up the drinks for everybody. And then with a twist of her immense head, gestures over to the stage.
Come on.
Oh. Wait, were we supposed to be good at playing music?
Our goal is to get to the green room.
Okay.
Well done, Mr. Miller. Excuse me, bartender. We require to set up and tune for our performance. Could you please direct us to the green room?
I've got to tune my cymbals.
As you can tell, it's very off.
All right. Leslie, 2d6 plus charm. This is
Great.
going to be a manipulate someone.
I'm going to bottle it up. I am very, very scared, but I'm putting on my most professional game face.
Yeah. You feel the tremble kind of in the middle of your chest between your spine and your heart, that vacant area where you keep fear. And you kind of gird yourself, and with just a perfect tenor in your voice, you just ask for the green room.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to use
eye
bottle it
contact.
up. You're going to have to add 1, 2, or 3 to this roll, and I'm going to subtract 1, 2, or 3 from a future roll. You don't have to decide until after you roll. 2d6 plus charm, please.
It is an 8. I'm going to add a 2.
Full success. And I get a -2 counter that I can use at any time. Yeah. The bartender kind of ducks down beneath the bar, and you hear the sound of kind of gears turning or levers or switches. And Mikey, as that's happening, you just get a waft of grease.
Oops. Leslie.
A door
Leslie.
opens to a green room.
We can talk in the green room.
Yes, please don't use my real name.
Sorry, Bert.
Thank you.
Bert.
Bert, yes.
Bert.
As Mikey's thinking, I like push Mikey to the green room.
Jeez, I'm sorry, Leslie. I forgot your last name. I mean, Bert. Oh,
It's okay.
shoot.
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Was it Bert Burgle, or am I making that up?
It was Bert Burgle.
Okay.
You should trust your own instincts, Mikey. Mr. Miller, you're better than what?
You just used his real name.
We're in the green room. We're fine.
Oh, okay.
They could have microphones.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's fine though, because Mikey's name right now is Michael, so it's pretty similar.
Yeah, it's the only one I could remember. I'll look around for microphones.
All right, Mikey, you look around for microphones. 2d6 plus sharp, please.
6.
Yeah, this place is wired up good.
No problem, Leslie. I checked it out. Wait, it does? It is?
Uh-huh. Multiple microphones and cameras.
Oh, jeez. Leslie, I really bungled this. I thought it was all clear, but we're mic'd up for sure. Sorry,
The
Bert.
door to the green room slides shut with a mechanical hiss.
Oh, man. Sorry, Bert.
Burgle.
Burgle. Yeah, gosh. I'll get it next time.
All right.
Well,
real pickle we got ourselves into.
No, we're inside. We're fine.
I'm excited.
It's time to unleash the heist.
Okay, so all of you are trapped in a windowless room.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's a big heavy door held in place with pneumatics. You're pretty sure the cabin is somewhere here, probably below here.
Yeah, I smelled the oil, Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very good observation, Mr. Miller. I'm very proud of you.
So
For
what
real?
do you all...
I take out a small star sticker from my book of little stickers, and I hand Miller a blue star.
I'm going to put it in my
that's
booklet.
a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think I've come up with a way that we can... Oh, sorry, Wynne.
Oh, go ahead, Stormy. I want to hear it.
I think I may have thought of a way that we can at least compromise the microphones, or get someone to come in here and open the door. I'm going to take my trumpet and I'm going to play a really high pitch as loud as I can right into the microphone. Just into all of them, so that they have to turn them off.
Love it. I'm
I'll be
going to
so
call
mad.
this Act Under Pressure. 2d6 plus cool, please.
It's a 3.
Well, this is why it's the one shot, because we're gonna get the party wiped out.
I'm going to get these folks to open the door. And you fill this room with deafening, pulsing sound. You all take 1 harm.
That's fair.
Fair. It's at roughly this moment that the entire floor of this place swings open like a trapdoor, and you all fall about 8 or 10 feet into some sort of subterranean warehouse.
Well, by my observation, guys, this is some kind of subterranean warehouse.
The ever observant Mikey Miller does it again.
Thanks, Wynne.
You're in like a room slightly bigger than the one upstairs. It's stacked with boxes, some of them really old, caked with dust, cobwebs. But there's a great big door, big square, almost like a barn door. On the other side of that door, you hear footsteps. Big, heavy footsteps. Not in any particular hurry. Echoing down the hallway outside the door.
Is there even just a little bit of a crack under that door?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to try to use my vines to slip under that door and immobilize whoever is on the other side.
Whoa!
Okay. Let's have you roll to kick some butt. 2d6 plus tough, please.
An 11.
So, Stormy disassembles herself from a roughly humanoid shape into a mass of writhing vines, which proceeds to slither under the door. All of you inside don't hear anything for a second or two. But then you suddenly hear a loud, thunderous yell, the sound of a shotgun firing, and then a massive thud.
Stormy? Come in, Stormy.
Are they okay?
I stroll open to the door and I open it.
Stormy is standing in more or less humanoid form on top of a now unconscious 8.5-foot tall ogre enforcer.
Fantastic.
You should take care of him for a little bit.
Everyone inside the trench coat.
How does she do it?
Yeah, you pull the trench coat off this ogre. The four of you can easily fit inside.
All right, I take out just the ogre mask that I have.
Yeah, you keep
my
that
disguise
standard
kit.
on you.
Yeah.
So and now you are a giant trundling ogre.
And we trundle as a team. And inside a trench coat.
Stormy,
Yeah, Mikey.
that was so cool.
Well, thank you.
That was awesome. You just like took that guy down.
Okay. Leslie, what do you want to do?
All right, let's move forward. This is obviously the place where we keep all of they keep all of the hidden supplies. I would assume most of this is actually a lot of contraband and things that they should not have, and they store all things that they shouldn't manner of speaking. So I want to collect some evidence as we go along to inform the agency of this hidden illegal cache, and I will look for a cabin-size box.
Absolutely. 2d6 plus sharp, please.
Wonderful. And that is a 7.
I will apply a -2. You have failed.
No, no.
GM?
Mhm.
Oops. I did something again.
Okay. So you are trundling through like this big kind of listing ogre
As a team.
as
Yeah.
a team. Looking, because you realize you are in a warehouse, only an underground warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this part of town is now different, it was once the center of meatpacking in the country. Meaning down here is an absolutely city-sized labyrinth of tunnels and rail lines and storage facilities and underwater cisterns.
You gotta be kidding me.
It is a maze because it is meant to be one. The thing that is very troubling here is how many ogres there are, all dressed in great big pinstriped suits with heavy overcoats, big, wide, broad
Miss Meadows,
hats.
wave to the ogre.
Hmm.
Well done.
All of them are armed. All of them are doing business down here. What is very clear to you, Leslie, and what grows clear to everybody else is that the Broad Shoulders are running one of the largest smuggling operations in the city, using the tunnels that their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents did back when this was a meatpacking district. And as you get further and further into this labyrinth, you start finding more and more contraband. You keep walking down hallways full of weird stuff, strange boxes. Mikey, as you're walking by, there's a nameplate on one of these big, heavy storage doors. It's locked. Most of the doors have pieces of paper on them written in some kind of weird, it's got to be old ogre, like weird language you don't understand. But one door actually has a metal plate on it. Looks like it's been here for decades, if not centuries. And this nameplate says, "Do not open. Property of Armistice Pierce." And for whatever reason, you want to pull that off the door. And so you do.
Huh.
Oops.
Hey,
You keep wandering through, looking for something. And you all stumble into, well, a pair of ogres that are walking the halls carrying, one of them is carrying a giant hatchet for some reason. And the other one is carrying what looks like the deck gun off an old ship. And they look at you.
Miss Meadows, wave.
I'm going to do finger guns.
The ogre holding the piece of naval artillery looks at you. "The boss calls for more patrols. You're walking in the wrong direction."
All right.
We have to use the bathroom.
"You want to use the boss's bathroom? It ain't my funeral, it's yours."
Well, we don't expect flowers, so thank you.
"Be quick. Someone broke in." And they
The bathroom?
They walk past you. Yeah. And down this hallway are only a couple of things. A few more warehouse doors, a bathroom, and then a big brass pressure door.
Huh.
You knock on the pressure door.
Mm.
It opens.
Good job, Mikey.
Inside is an office, which seems remarkably out of place down here. A big, beautiful rug, big circular rug imported. Built-in shelving books, huge books. Old ogre tomes. Furniture, immense furniture. And instead of a big, fancy wooden desk, it's a giant slaughtering table, the kind that you would throw an entire cow on to break it down with a hatchet. Sitting at it is someone you immediately realize is the head of the Broad Shoulders. Generally, ogres defer to the biggest ogre. And the Hog Butcher is the biggest ogre you've ever seen.
And we've seen like 6 now.
Is there a place to sit?
Yeah.
Mixed Wifflethorne, could you please direct us to the seat in front of the table?
Yes, I can.
The Hog Butcher is wearing, under this big greatcoat, what looks to be a rather nice-looking gown, and kind of a beautiful fascinator kind of fixed to her hair. Entire ostrich feathers shooting out the back. She's smoking a cigar the size of a baseball bat. So I'm guessing you don't want to throw the game.
No.
So can we come out?
Oh, you don't need to stand on ceremony on my account.
I'll hop out.
Yeah, we all disguise.
Hi, I'm Frazzle Dazzle. I'm a jazz musician. Wait, that disguise too?
Yes, I believe it's appropriate now to disguise all disguises.
Yep,
Miss
the
Meadows.
ogre sheds its skin to reveal a jazz quartet, which then sheds its skin to reveal for Chicagoland Blittle Leaguers.
Miss Butcher, we will not cede to the team that you fund.
Sure would have been better if you did.
You will have to play an honest game against us.
Fine. But if that's the case, I'm not letting the four of you out of here until the game is over.
Hey, Leslie,
Yeah,
are we gonna have to fight?
I think we have to sit this next game out.
That don't seem right.
Really wanted to play.
About 30 feet above you, in the sky, the smell of Appalachian pine starts filling the air, rolling in like the summer thunder of a West Virginia storm. Smoke begins seeping up from the rooftops, coalescing into the exit portal, the entrance of which is hundreds of miles away in West Virginia. Emerging through this smoky portal, of course, is a great dead stag, followed by all the deer and falcon and hawks and badgers of great West Virginia wasteland.
Yeah, I hide behind the hog butcher.
You instantly, because all of you are underground,
Mhm.
but you instantly, Mikey, Stormy, Leslie, and Wynne, get that unmistakable smell that something is suddenly cooking.
Is that
And you
Ned?
duck. And with that, a great battle between the broad-shouldered ogres of Chicago and the great force of nature of West Virginia occurs in the streets of Chicago. The underground walls of this office start shaking. Books start falling off the table. The hog butcher stands up. What did you do?
Mr. Miller, please deposit a flare into Miss Butcher's face, and let's get out of here.
Okay, I do it. I always do what Leslie says.
Okay, Mikey, roll to 2d6 plus tough to kick some butt by shooting a flare.
Actually, GM, I really gotta say my heart's really in this one because my heart's really in it because I kind of feel like I'm helping out Leslie fight this other, this ogre, and Leslie's my friend, so my heart's just.
Do you
really
throw the
feeling
flare gun to Leslie?
Oh no,
good.
I fire it off. It's just that I really believe in myself when I'm doing it.
So you look, Mikey, you see your friends. You know that there's something crazy happening immediately above you. You know the hog butcher is about to do something wild. And so you quick fire off a flare. The room starts filling with bright fluorescent smoke. And Leslie, you are now set up to do something. And you're going to do it with a +1 because Mikey just helped you.
Oh, goodness.
Good luck, Leslie.
Okay. Great. I'm going to say, everyone, after you fire the flare, hold on, and I'm going to fire a grappling hook behind me, and it's hopefully going to pull us out of the room as fast as it can.
Sure.
Can I bottle that up too?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
All right. 2d6 plus cool, please. This is act under pressure.
Yeah.
Gotta bottle it up right at the end of the game.
Okay. A +1.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that gives me an 11. So I'm gonna go +3 for 14.
Sure. The hog butcher is about to pull some kind of lever in the wall that was going to drop something on you, some kind of cage maybe, when all of a sudden multiple things happen at once. One, Mikey, you immediately fire a flare that hits the hog butcher dead center of forehead and starts filling the room with choking fluorescent smoke. Two, Leslie, you reach out, and Stormy, you extend yourself to kind of wrap everybody up like a package, except for Leslie's arm, which fires a grappling hook that drags you out of the room. And the third thing that happens is a cloud, and I mean a cloud of northern flying squirrels start pouring through the vent system of this room. And just below the bleeding of them, you hear the screams of Chicago's biggest crime boss. You start whipping down the hallway of this underground, and you see what could best be described as the forests and mountains of West Virginia invading downtown Chicago.
Wow, Wynne.
There are grouses. There are trout. Somehow this is filling with water, and trout are swimming in. You quickly find a service tunnel and climb up a ladder and throw a sewer cover off. And you kind of get above ground, and it is pure pandemonium up here.
It feels like home.
I was just going to ask Wynne if this is what it's like every day where you're in West Virginia.
Is there a payphone nearby?
Yeah.
Go to the payphone and enter the secret code into the payphone.
Go for Clybourne.
Gopher? Trainer Clybourne, this is Agent Fitzgerald.
Ah, that explains it.
Yes, we have accidentally unleashed the entirety of Appalachia onto downtown Chicago. We are requesting emergency evacuation.
Evac en route.
Thank you.
A drone, probably the same one as before, hovers overhead and drops some lines.
Before I leave, I'd like to talk to Ned.
Yeah, you, Wynne, are actively running through an urban war zone. There's a cluster of skunks firing essentially long-term chemical warfare into a cluster of ogres that are firing back with long arms. And you kind of run down a hallway or run down an alleyway.
This is
on,
just July 4th for me.
Oh, yeah. And on top of a half-demolished building stands the great dead stag, Ned the Dead. Whole face wreathed in fire, screaming orders at his army in every language of Appalachia. And he sees you approaching, and the fires just like suck right back into his eye holes. Wynne.
Ned.
Thank you for the invite.
It feels like you're enjoying this about as much as I am.
The broad shoulders don't know what kind of trouble they're in.
Thanks again. How can I ever repay you?
Send me some hot dogs.
We got plenty of those. All right. Toodaloo. I'm going to take off.
And you do, and you kind of gallop as a deer and kind of leap off the building just as the drone flies by and snags you. The second Great Chicago Fire started in the old meatpacking district. The Union stockyard gates are wreathed in flames as all the beasts of West Virginia sort out their old rivalry with the broad shoulders of Chicago. The four of you watch it from above as you are shuttled off to the Blittle League Office of Tactical Interventions and Bake-at-Home Pizza Kit Sales.
Do you guys think that Ned started the fire with his eyes?
With 100% certainty.
Mm-hmm.
Both this one and the first one.
Well, the rumors may be true. Maybe he did start the first one. But I sure as heck know he started the second. Hey, did we ever get the dugout?
An old office at Harvard University.
Uh-oh.
Doors locked with a key that nobody's seen in 70 years. The office is much the way it was when it was used every day by the person whose name is on the door. Armistice Pierce. A phone rings. An old rotary phone. Stuck to the wall, in fact.
Whoa.
A hand lifts it off and puts it to her ear.